Hey everybody, Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share yet another update on my experience with the Lenovo Yoga Pro 2. So I wanted to give a quick demonstration of what web browsing was like within Internet Explorer in the tablet mode of the Yoga, because clearly this is a hybrid that really does try to give you the best of both worlds. And right now, as you can see, we are in tablet mode, a little bit of a wide shot. Everything's reversed, flipped over, full leverage of the 360 degrees. And of course, the keyboard, even though it's exposed as well as the trackpad, they are deactivated, so you don't have to worry about anything being pressed. With that said, as you can see, my Giants finally getting their first win. Not going to get into sports because not really anything to get that excited about, but what I do want to show off is some of this really high resolution display. Again, 3200 by 1800 resolution, IPS display, and generally speaking, in order to get a panel with this sort of resolution, of course IPS type, you're looking at a much higher class price point than what Lenovo is offering here and what I consider a very good value. Now, I've mentioned some of the shortcomings in build quality, dead pixels, a little bit of backlight bleed, but these are things that I think most of you will be willing to live with because the overall package here really does seem to be great. But web browsing, clearly one of the things that you're going to be doing most of the time outside of general productivity on a machine like this because of its weight, because of the fact that it's so versatile in terms of how it can basically act in just about any way you'd like: tablet, laptop, table stand mode, tent mode, whatever it may be. So let's get down to business, a little bit of browsing for you. Going to go ahead and just put it through some paces. And this does not, by the way, have dual band Wi-Fi. I did not see both of my bands populate in the actual Wi-Fi settings there in terms of available networks. But you can see very fast. Everything is extraordinarily smooth. Your standard prototypical pinch to zoom test there. So in terms of as a tablet, this thing works beautifully. In terms of practicality, because of the 13.3-inch display size as well as its weight, that's where things are a little bit less practical when it comes to actual tablet mode. Go ahead and jump to another website. Of course, the beauty of Windows 8.1 is that it really does round out the Windows 8 experience. You know, we have not really a start button back. I'm not going to get into that review right now. Save that for Surface Pro 2, of course. But the actual experience is great, and anyone who really was put off by Windows 8, I think, will feel much more at home now with 8.1. Just a lot of enhancements. And I personally was not disappointed with Windows 8, but as I mentioned, 8.1 really does just make things that much better. So right here, web browsing just proves, you know, you're not going to hit any sort of wall. You're not going to worry about flash. I mean, this is what Windows 8 and, of course, now 8.1 is all about. Zero compromise in your computing or tablet experience. Here we are in, again, tablet mode. So if I wanted to go back to the desktop, just hit the start button and go ahead and open up the browser. And now, of course, we're in a traditional desktop mode, so the keyboard I have to actually pull up because it assumes I would be using the physical hard buttons rather than an on-screen keyboard. But just to, again, demonstrate what the experience is like here on the actual desktop mode, again, you're just going to see Wi-Fi very strong, in my opinion. You can see we've got full bars over there in the lower right-hand corner, and that's impressive considering, again, that this is not a dual band chipset in here. So performance is solid, and overall, I really do like everything when it comes to at least the tablet mode side of things. As far as productivity machine, this is in line with everything else that's Haswell based. But the screen, of course, is what sets the Yoga Pro 2 apart. It's ironic because the original Yoga screen set it apart from competition by under-delivering. Here we have a much higher-end res. Of course, I have mentioned the dead pixels, which I would say I have around half a dozen. Of course, that's going to vary. I'm sure some of you will have none. Very little backlight bleed, but it is present. But that's generally part of what is expected with IPS displays. That's not to say that you can't get an IPS display with less backlight bleed. You certainly can. But the dead pixels are something I'm personally not in love with. But overall, you're not going to see them. Keep in mind, there are a ton of pixels here. So not that I'm making excuses, but more pixels does equate to more room for error, unfortunately. But it does speak to their quality control. Lenovo, not the best in that department. They are known for durability. But overall, I still really do like this. And for the price point, as I've mentioned in previous updates, you will be hard-pressed to find anything that comes close to this. I'll just go ahead and pull up another website here. Let's go over to YouTube. And really, this machine is all about zero compromise, and that's why it actually has the ability to rotate. In fact, instead of pulling that up, let's just take a look at the Galaxy Note. A pure tablet as opposed to this Windows 8.1 experience that we're dealing with here. Of course, that did not work. I'll just bring up the number pad. Let's see where I populate. And again, because it's heavy, it's not the best for being a tablet. It also gets quite warm, I would say, when compared with Android and iOS tablets, but that's to be expected. You're dealing with a real processor here, even though it is actually low voltage. Keep in mind, this is not a standard Haswell chip. The low voltage processors are still beefy, but they're not what you're going to find in higher end, full-blown laptop solutions. So let's go ahead and just look at an unboxing and see if I actually come up there. And there I am. Not bad. Not bad, folks. Right there, second result under /gear. And you can see things got really small on the bottom here, and that is a lot to do with that resolution. In fact, so small I don't think I can actually use my finger.
But unfortunately true. Next, we've got the processor, another big improvement. Exynos 5, one of Sam's own chips now, clocked.
And as you can see, I'm having a little trouble actually hitting it, and that's because, again, all of this extra resolution really does equate to, unfortunately, making things a little bit more difficult for fingers, which is ironic considering the fact that this, again, we're in tablet mode. So of course, that's something that can be adjusted to a degree, but up at the top of the frame, you can also notice everything has just become microscopic. I'm going to bring it all the way up to the lens. You can see that title is tiny. And if this is supposed to be a perceived benefit, then it's time to start over. But this is one of the reasons, you know, a long time ago, years back, I wrote an article over at thedigitaldigest.com about the pixel density races and the fact that they hadn't actually made their way to laptops. Forget that at that point, Ultrabooks didn't exist. And now we finally have this incredible resolution, which we would think is a godsend when it comes to portable computing. But unfortunately, if that is the execution, that we're going to have microscopic text, it's not the best application. So just one example, but again, video looks great on here, stills look great on here, and as you may have noticed, web browsing also pretty solid. Trackpad does prove to work relatively well. Had to do a little bit of an update on the drivers there, but overall things working nicely. But with a machine like this, I'm far more prone to be using my finger to navigate on the touchscreen than the trackpad itself. Of course, part of the entire versatility of this machine is that you do have this on the reverse, which is the look and feel of a real laptop, even though we are working in a hybrid environment here. So Windows 8.1, a perfect fit for this device. Another reason the Yoga Pro 2, at least out of the box, is better than the original, besides the fact that they've redone design. We've got added backlighting now for the keyboard, an incredibly high resolution display, And overall, the specification bumps don't hurt. Of course, overall performance is really going to be benefited for the most part, or the chief benefit of Haswell is battery life, not necessarily benchmarking of traditional performance. But I like the keyboard. I like the fact that we've got a business look here. It's a professional looking machine, as I just triggered this. But that is really the beauty of this machine and most of what Lenovo puts out. So overall, still liking it. Just wanted to share that so that this way you guys could get a quick look at web browsing as well as some flash playback on this incredibly high-res display. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. And of course, as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.